morning, and welcome to Bad Bat Hikes. Today, I'm going to be going over every single piece of gear I plan to start with on my Appalachian Trail thru hike in 2023. I'm going to be going over every single thing I have in my setup currently, and we shall see what makes it to the end. So without further ado, let's get started. First, I want to start with what's in my fanny pack. I am a big fan of backpacking with a fanny pack because you have access to a lot of your gear without having to take your pack completely off. So my fanny pack is from REI. It's rather on the large side. I believe it's 5 to 7 liters. It's just the REI co-op brand, but I wanted something big enough so I could keep all of my electronics, my snacks, my Garmin, InReach, all of that stuff. So if heaven forbid I ever have something go wrong with my pack, leave my pack, have to drop my pack, I will have everything I need to get out of the woods safely right in here. So let's dig in, shall we? So right in this front pocket I have my Flex tail pump. This is definitely a luxury item. This is a little bitty air pump that I use to pump up my blow-up matches, so I don't have to use my lungs to blow it up. For one, after long periods of time using your own air to blow up a sleeping pad, it can cause mold because of the heat you're putting into it. Press that power button twice. And there it goes. And you can take this little nozzle out and pop it on the other side to suck the air back out. So that's nice. But I said it's dual purpose because it's also a light. Now I do have another headlamp, but this is a great backup option if something were to happen to my headlamp. It has 3 different settings. It gets really bright. Whoa. And it also has a little kind of hook at the top. So if I do want to like hang this in my tent for some light, if I don't want to use my headlamp, I can. So very good piece of gear there. Speaking of my headlamp, that's also where I keep my headlamp. Now this is a Nicor headlamp. I'll have to look up the exact name for it and I'll try to put it on the screen here. But this was a Christmas present actually, and I am very excited about it because it is the USB-C chargeable, which means I don't have anything that charges with micro USB, so I don't have to carry that extra cord or worry about having some sort of extra cord. But this is super cool and I'm very excited to try it out. It's adjustable, kind of has like a cord at the back, but this part is really stretchy, so it's really comfortable to wear like on your head. And it also is adjustable this way. So if I were wearing it while I was hiking and I wanted the light pointed down so I could see at my feet, it can do that. It also comes in several different modes. It's very intuitive. I had Petzl beforehand, but it's a little more intuitive than the Petzl in my opinion. So you have your bright, left, right, and then here's that red. I found it kind of hard to get to the red setting on my Petzl headlamp, so I'm really appreciative of that so I don't bug people at campsites at night. It also has an SOS function. It's a really good piece of gear. Very excited to try that out. There is kind of a hidden back pocket in here, which is going to sit like flat up against me, so hopefully never get wet. So that's where I chose to put my little wallet. It's just a very small RFID blocking wallet. I do not remember where I got this, but I knew I was going to need something small and light, and hopefully no one will steal my info. And in the back, I also have a small journal, a small notebook, and a pen, because I do want to keep notes as I go. This is from Field Notes. They have a National Park series, so this one is Joshua Tree, and I've got a couple of other ones, because this is only 48 pages, so when this fills up, I can mail it home and get another one sent to me. Next, on the inside, now I don't have any snacks or food. This is just going to be like my base weight gear. I don't have any food yet. That will be coming in a video soon about what I plan to eat while out on the hike. But the next thing I grabbed is my headphones. I went for a Bluetooth wireless headphone. These are one of the bone induction ones because if you didn't see my previous video where I explained my trail name is Bad Bat. I'm completely deaf in my left ear, have been since I was born. So when I wear normal earphones, like I can't do the one in, one out thing so I can hear my surroundings. It's either all in or all out because I'd only have the one. So I wanted to get the bone induction headphones so I could be able to hear my surroundings to, stay safe while I hike while also being able to listen to my music. Now, there are two in here. I greatly debated leaving the left one at home, but I guess it's only a few ounces. I can carry it with me if I want to share music with somebody else. That'll work, and they do charge in their own case. So, might as well bring both of them, but those are my headphones. Next is the rest of my tech gear. I got this bag from Hilltop Packs. I made the design on there with just some general techie things and some little bitty bats on there too. So I put the rest of my tech gear in here. Let's see what I got. All right, I've got my Anchor charger. It's 20,000. This is a literal brick, like a literal brick, but since I'm going to be filming as I go and I have to charge my headlamp and my little blower, my headphones, my camera batteries, my phone, it's a lot of things to charge. So I figure I might as well go with the bigger one to keep everything charged and going while I'm out. Speaking of camera batteries, this is my camera battery case. It actually also charges the batteries inside. I've only got 2 in there now, but I do have 3 because it's in the camera I'm using currently, which is the DJI Action 3 is the camera I'm going to be using to film most of my thru hike. I'm sure at some points I will have to use my phone, but for the majority of it, I am planning on using the Action 3. So this will charge those batteries as well as store my SD cards. All right, next, I've got 2 cords. I've got a USB to USB-C cord and a USB-C to USB-C cord because like I said earlier, all of my electronics are now USB-C, so I don't have to worry about switching out cords. And with that, I've got my little fast charging wall plug. It's got a USB-C and a USB cord, so I can use both of these at once to charge 2 different things while I'm in town to get some juice. So that was all that was in here. What else is in here? Oh, I've got my little Swiss Army knife. It's just the generic one. It's got a knife, scissors, tweezers, and that's about it. That's about all you'd need this for. So knife for general knife things. And then I already showed this, but I'll pull it out again. I am going to be using a Garmin InReach satellite device. Cell signal along the trail is questionable at best. I did go with the quote unquote the full size one. A lot of people get the mini. I know this is heavier, which is why most people get the mini, but this battery lasts significantly longer, and I found having the screen to navigate on was a lot more user-friendly for me. You'd be able to look up the weather, do your messages pretty easily. I just really liked being able to communicate on this alone. You don't even really need the app on your phone. You can use it to send text messages so you have an actual keyboard to type, but I liked this one a lot better than the mini. So that will be coming with me. So that's everything that was in my fanny pack. So we'll move swiftly along to my pack, which I will say is the 6 Moon Designs Minimalist version 2. And I got the Eco Pack fabric in this wonderful bright red. I wanted the blue. They were out of the blue. They are still currently out of the blue last time I checked, which was a few weeks ago. So if they're back in stock, awesome. But I can dig the red. We're gonna get along just fine with the red. But the literal top reason that I got this pack was this right here. Six Moon Designs has this awesome feature that they have available when you buy one of their packs called a flight harness. It's essentially like a running vest. So you have two chest straps and it really hugs you. When you wear this, you can't feel anything on your shoulders. It's all like distributed throughout your core. So that was the number one reason that I wanted to get this pack, because this feature intrigued me so much. And so far, so good. I'm really liking the way it carries. So first up, we have a bandana for wiping sweat, blow my nose, all that fun stuff. There are a few more pockets like on the flight pack itself. I'm not sure if you can see those. I am filming inside today. But there are a few more pockets in there. I left them empty for now. If you do, this is technically a water bottle pocket. If you do put a water bottle in here, it kind of presses into your chest a little bit, which is not so comfy, but it would be good for stashing like sunglasses in there, bar, wrappers, trash, etc. Just little things you need a place to put while you're walking. On the other side, I've got a couple of things. This hose is something that really intrigued me. I knew I didn't want a water bladder because the word leak inside my pack, not the greatest thought. But I did really enjoy having like a straw. It's very odd. I find I drink more even in like real life when I'm not backpacking if I have a straw versus without a straw. So I knew I wanted some sort of like hydration hose situation. So this is what I came up with. I just found this off of Amazon. Again, I can show what the actual name of it is here in a second, but there is a magnetic clip that clips this to the front. This is the bite valve. I'll try to show it a little closer here in a second, but the bite valve is here, and then the hose goes all the way around to the back of the pack where it's sitting in one of my smart water bottles. I do plan on bringing 2 smart water bottles, but I currently only have 1 in my possession, so for right now he's hanging out by himself, but when I do start, I will have 2 sitting right next to each other in that pack. So we will see how well that works for keeping me hydrated along the trail. Next thing over here is my thermometer. I do get very curious as to what the actual temperature is. I know weather apps can be questionable at best, so I always find it good to have an actual thermometer on you just to know what temperature everything is. Now this pack does have hip belt pockets, but they're not very accessible. I got the small hip belt pocket because in previous packs, even in a small size pack, I'd have to crank that hip belt like all the way till you can't crank it anymore, and I'd still want to get it a little bit tighter. But their small actually does fit me very nicely, and I do have room to crank it down, but it does make like the hip belt pockets like come around almost towards my back. So they're not very accessible. So one I've got empty. I'll fill it with probably trash or nothing at all. But on the other side is my very special friend. This is Gorge. He is a part of a trio, Red River Gorge. I am from Kentucky and made a trip to Red River Gorge, and 2 of my friends and myself got little bats, and we each named them. The first one Red, middle one River, and then mine was Gorge. So this is Gorge. He is my little bat friend, and he is going to come with me on all 2,200 miles of this trail. So he's going to ride along right in this pocket, and I shall zip him up nice and safe. So let's spin around here. So I've already talked about my smart water bottle, so we'll keep going towards the back. Okay, let's see, hanging on the outside first, I'll unclip this. I've got my Kula cloth. If you don't know what a Kula cloth is, it's essentially just like a pee rag, TMI, but for you lady hikers out there, get a Kula cloth. They're amazing. Ever since I got it, I've loved it on every trip. Next is my camp shoes. It's just a pair of Zeros. They're very, very, very light. They're very compactable. They can get really small. So just a pair of something that's not my hiking shoes to wear once I get to camp or while I'm in town. I think my feet will thank me very, very much. Okay, on the other side of my pack here, I have a very controversial item in the backpacking community. It is a carbon fiber umbrella. This may be one of my favorite pieces of gear of all time. I know a lot of people are very adamant that they don't need an umbrella. They're a waste of weight, but this is only a handful of ounces, and taking away the pounding of rain on top of my head on a very long day of hiking is worth every single ounce of this. It keeps you kind of in your own bubble. It gives you an escape when you're in the middle of the day and you just want to have lunch or something. It gives you a little escape from just being pounded on by rain. And I know it rains a lot on the AT, so that is coming with me. Will I keep it the whole way? Probably, but if I do need to ditch something, I'm going to ditch something else first before I get rid of this. I love my umbrella. It's also Six Moon Designs. Next, I've got my tent poles. This little bag I got from Tarp Tent, which is my tent of choice, which I'll get to here in a minute. But my tent poles are in here. I won't bother getting those out, but I will get out my stakes. So my stakes came with my tarp tent. There are 6 of them, and that's as many as it takes to set that tent up. I will just try to take 6. If I do end up losing some, I know I can get some along the way, but I do really like these stakes. They're not branded, but they're very much like the Z-Packs tent stakes, but they're very, very light, and I will try to keep up with them as best I can. Right? Next on the outside here is part of my rain gear. I did go for the Packa by Cedar Tree. This is an incredible invention by Cedar Tree, and it is basically a poncho with a bump out for your pack. So you wear it over your pack and during the rain, and it keeps both you and your pack dry while it is raining. Now, I wanted to go for Packa because with a rain cover on your pack plus a rain coat or jacket, the straps of your bag still get drenched, which is not pleasant. So if I can have something that goes over all of me, both me and my gear and my pack, that's what I'm gonna go for. So I was very excited about that. They're a very small company. The way you order them, you don't order them online. You actually email the owner, and he is extraordinarily kind. He helped me out along the way to ordering my particular one. I got a medium in the color blue in the D30, I believe. I'll have to double check. I'm pretty sure I got the D30. But he was very helpful in telling me which one would work best for my gear. All right. Next on this side, I have my little rucksack with my cord on the inside. This is what I'll be using to hang my bear bag at night. I do need to switch out this cord. It's not quite long enough, but it's of similar weight to what I will be getting. So I figured I'd throw that in for the time being. All right, in the bottom of my pack here, I have 2 things rolled up together, and I kind of, if you can see here, had to rig it just a little bit. The Minimalist does not come with straps at the bottom here. I did take the little zigzag strap off of this side, and I wound it through some of the optional gear holes to get me this kind of backwards in shape, so I could strap both my sit pad and my ground sheet at the bottom here. Okay. So the bottom here, I have my Outdoor Vitals short 1/8 of an inch foam pad, sit pad, extra warmth at night under my sleeping pad over here. It is extraordinarily light. I think it's under 3 ounces. I did used to carry a short Nemo, but that was 10 ounces, and 3 ounces is significantly better than 10. So I will keep that for sure. And then I have my Tyvek ground sheet. You don't technically need a ground sheet with my particular tent, my tarp tent, but just for added protection, I mean, I'm going to be hiking for 2,200 miles. I'm bound to set up on rocks and mulch and whatever else could poke through my tent. So just an added layer of protection. All right, we're to the outside pocket. Up top, I have a baseball cap that, yes, indeed, is from Shake Shack. No, I did not work at Shake Shack. I got this in New York City many, many years ago when that was one of the first Shake Shacks. And it's just a, synthetic crushable baseball cap that I figured would be good to have on trail for some sun protection and when you feel like you need a hat. And it also is very nice when it's raining to wear under my parka to kind of keep the brim out a little further. So there's that. Next, I've got my water filter. I went with the Katadyn Bee Free filter. I just got the 1 liter with the little squeezy bottle at the top. Normally, I'm a Sawyer user, but I figured I'd try out the Bee Free. I've heard a lot about it, and my Sawyer works just fine. I used a little squeezy bag with it, but I did like that this could be closed up. Like I could put it in here and close it all up and it's watertight, so at night when it's cold I can just throw it in the bottom of my foot box in my quilt and not have to worry about it like leaking everywhere, so I don't crack the filter. So when it's cold, that's a place to go. Alright, what do I pull out next? Oh, these are my rain pants. So I just got these from, I believe, Academy Sports. They're a nothing. I think that's an Academy Sports brand. Magnellin, I don't know, outdoors. They're just essentially a Frog Tog upgrade, but it wasn't quite as good as like some of the REI ones or whatnot. So they are fully waterproof. I can throw these over my leggings as I hike for protection from the rain and protection from the cold. So they fold into their own pocket. I can throw them on the outside of my pack. We'll see how long they last. Next, I have my poop kit. Inside here, I've got my wet wipes, my toilet paper, my black bag to put the used toilet paper, leave no trays, pack out your stuff. I've got my trowel, my dig trowel, for digging cat holes, and then some hand sanitizer. So on that Ziploc baggie on the outside. Next, I've got, okay, so this is something that I will be ditching before the end, 100%. These are my micro spikes. These are just some no-name brand from Amazon. I knew I'm starting really early, so the ice and the snow is going to be no joke, and I wanted to make sure that I had enough grip if I do get into a situation where I'm hiking across ice or snow. Last thing I want to happen is to slip and hurt myself because I didn't bring what I needed to stay safe. So I've got some micro spikes. Like I said, I will be ditching those almost 100% after I get done with the Smokies, unless there's snow or ice in the forecast after that. Alright, so in the top of my pack, there is a pocket up here. There's a pocket, there's kind of like a stretchable sleeve. I don't quite know what I'd throw in there, maybe an extra layer or a hat or something if I'm not using it while I'm hiking. But there is a zippered pocket up here as well. And that's where I'm keeping my med kit. So in here, I just have a variety of medical things. I've got some Gold Bond baby powder. I've got some bug spray, some tape for blisters, a tick key. Ticks really do like me. I know I'm starting early, but you can never be too sure, just to help get those ticks off. A pair of nail clippers, some general pain pills, Benadryl, that kind of a thing, a few Band-Aids, a roll of duct tape if I need it, lighter, extra lighter if I need it, safety pin for blisters and whatnot, just general med kit things. Next, I've got my bug net. So this is a Sea to Summit head net, ultra mesh. So if I ever get in a very buggy situation, I could throw that on just to keep my sanity a little bit while the bugs are around. Next, I've got my hairbrush. It's just a Dollar Tree hairbrush, the one with a little mirror in it and a little pop-out brush. I figured I could use a mirror for emergency purposes or just for, seeing my face while I'm out on trail. And on there, I've just wrapped around a few extra hair ties for me to use while I'm out there. Okay, so that is everything on the outside of my pack. Let's bust open the inside. So this is a roll top pack. It rolls up just like a lot of other ultralight packs. This one isn't quite ultralight, but it's getting there. So we've got that roll top here, and right on top I've got my food bag. Now, it is currently empty, but I did get my food bag also from Hilltop Pack, so I designed these myself with my little Bad Bat logo on there, and a little gradient, and a bunch of other little bats, so there's no confusion about whose bag this is. I did make sure to put something recognizable, like at the top, so when you roll it down, you don't have any confusion as to whose bag is whose. So in the inside of my food bag, I did get the version, if you can see in there, with the spoon stash. So there's like a little pocket for you to put your spoon so you don't lose it in the bottom of your bag. And if it's not there, you know you've left it somewhere. So I went with this silicone long-handled spoon that I got from REI. I went with the silicone one. I have a metal one. It's not my favorite. It's just not very pleasant to eat off of, but I went with the silicone so I can like clean the sides of my pot, so I can get in there with all the crevices and try to clean those sides, and then this will be a little more pleasant to eat off of. So that's my spoon. Next, I've got an odor proof bag. I got a couple of these. I need to switch this one out, but it's just an op sack, however you want to pronounce that brand. I'm probably saying that wrong, but it's an odor barrier bag, so I can zip this up, and the smells of my food on the inside will make it less enticing for critters to come nibble on my bag. I've got two more things in here. I've got a little salt and pepper dispenser. It's just a little screw cap, and so I can salt and pepper things, because while a lot of backpacking food is very high in salt already, it's, I mean, if I ever want to salt or pepper literally anything just to give it a little more flavor while I'm out there, and if I halfway through decide to change it with different spices, I'll have some spices to, you know, spice up my food as I'm there. Last thing I'm keeping in my food bag is actually my toothbrush, toothpaste, and then my Tiger Balm. Now, you might be asking, why would you keep that in your food bag? That's not food. Well, it's scented, and you're supposed to hang everything that's scented at night so critters don't come near you, near your tent. And I figured if I'm gonna be hanging it in my food bag, why not just store it in there anyway? So I've just got a little travel toothbrush, travel toothpaste, and then my Tiger Balm. If you've never heard of Tiger Balm, it's kind of like, like icy hot is the best thing I can describe it as. It's for sore muscles. It's to rub my feet. At the end of the night, I am very much looking forward to this after a very long day of hiking. They only make it in these like little tiny little pots, so I'll have to find those along the way. You can find it at Walmart, Walgreens, any like drugstore essentially. You can find that at, and it will do wonders for your feet. All right, next is my cook kit. It is right on top. Like every other backpacker ever, I went with the Tokes pot. I went with the 650. It has the little lid with the little holes for steaming. And then I went with the ever-loved BRS stove. It's just little bitty tiny canister stove. I don't have my fuel in here currently because, like I said, this is a base weight video. I'm not going to be doing fuel or food or water liquids on this particular video, but this little stove just folds out just like this. You screw it into a little canister and it'll be my stove, and I can cook my food as I go on trail. So that is that. Next, I've got my hot lips. Essentially, this will latch onto the outside of my pot, so if I'm ever drinking like hot chocolate or tea or coffee or whatever, and I don't want to burn my lips on my very, very hot pot that I just boiled water in, I will slap these on there so I have a nice place to sit and sip out of it. Last thing I've got is my little towel. I'm going to wrap my fuel canister in this so it doesn't rust the bottom of my pot, and then I can use this to wipe up afterwards, and I can also use it to like wipe condensation off my tent, wash my face, I don't know, just a general rag to have when you're out in the backcountry if I need to clean something. Okay, I'm taking this hat off my head. It looks dumb backwards with my buff on, so we're gonna take that right off there. All right, next up in my bag is my tent. So I've got my tarp tent. My tarp tent rainbow lithium. So this is a 2-person tent. It's made out of Dyneema or DCF, whatever you want to call that waterproof fabric that ultralight hikers love so much. I do not claim to be ultralight, as you can tell by my gear so far, but I do try to be as light as possible. But I love this tent. It has done me well so far. I tested it out in the cold in my last video, if you want to check that out, and I didn't have any issues with space or with drafts or with snow. It snowed on me during that video and it just came right off. I took it inside my house and it was dry within 30 minutes, if that even. I just came back in 30 minutes and it was bone dry. But it dries very, very quickly because it doesn't retain water, which is nice. So if there's ever a day where it's actually soaking wet, I can just strap it to the outside of my bag, lay it out during lunchtime, and it should be dry in a jiff. So I am going to be doing a more in-depth video about my big 3 here soon. But for now, that is my tent, moving swiftly along. Next, I've got a liner in my bag. It's just a trash compactor bag. A lot of people like to use these just for an added layer of protection so your stuff doesn't get wet. So I kind of folded it in on itself. I'm not sure if you can see in there. I kind of folded it in on itself with everything else in my bag at the bottom, just for an added layer of protection, because everything that's at the top of my bag can get wet. My tent can get wet, my food bag can get wet, everything can get wet on top of that. But this stuff I really need to stay dry. All right, next is my clothes. I have them in a Hyperlite Mountain Gear large pod. I was very intrigued by this. I was just going to use like a normal dry bag, but this one, as you can see, it's kind of like D-shaped, so it sits very nicely down in a backpack, whether it's a Hyperlite Mountain Gear one or not. Obviously mine it's not, it's 6 Moons. But on the inside of this, I've got my clothes, my extra clothes that I won't be hiking in. So this bag is waterproof, on top of being in my compactor bag, another layer of protection. So in here I've got my down puffy. This puffy is from Outdoor Vitals, and it's actually a mix of down and synthetic. They claim that it's like still usable even when it is wet, so that's good for staying warm at night. I also have a pair of waterproof gloves that snap together. They're a little warm on the inside, but not very much. It's more just like keeping the ice cold water off my hands. So gloves. I also have 2 extra pairs of socks. I have my wool sleep socks, and I have a pair of Darn Toughs for my extra hiking socks that I can switch in and out of, and a pair of ex officio underwear, again, to switch out of. And then for my sleep clothes, I have just a know-nothing base layer. It's made out of a synthetic material. I think I got it at Academy Sports. It's just their base layer, their thermal layer. It's very, very warm. So I'll keep that through the winter months, and I'll probably switch that out for a t-shirt at some point. Again, I'll probably switch these out as well. These are fleece lined leggings. Another know nothing. I think I got these at Walmart for maybe $5, but they're fleece lined and they're very, very warm and very lightweight. So that'll be what I sleep in. So those are my extra clothes that are at the bottom. I'll go over what I'm wearing here in just a minute. Next is my pillow. If you saw my cold gear video, you will know my Outdoor Vitals blow up pillow died. It got a hole in it. Can't find where the hole is. So I went back and forth. I was like, man, I can get another blow up pillow. It'll be lighter, but I never did sleep very well on a blow up pillow. It's just, I mean, it's like you're already sleeping on a blow-up sleeping pad, and then the blow-up pillow would just slide around, and it was like a balloon, and they're not comfy. So I have this. This is not very ultralight of me, but I figure if I'm going to be using this for 6 months and getting good sleep is going to be very, very important on trail, I'm going to bring my Nemo Pillow. So essentially a Nemo Pillow is a like fillable pillow. It is half foam, and then there is a place for you to inflate it, and you can also open this up and stuff in it. So if I wanted to like stuff in my puffy coat just to make the fill a little bit bigger, I could. So I'm definitely taking this. This is a definite luxury item, but having a good pillow equals good sleep, and good sleep equals better hiking. So I'm going to take that with me. Next, I have my sleeping pad. I am taking the Nemo Tensor regular insulated. So it is the rectangular version, not the wide or the long or anything. I figure I'd go for the lighter one, but not the biggest fan of the mummy style. I like a rectangle, just gives you more room to move. But I went with Nemo as opposed to, I think Thermarest is the other big brand, because I am a firm believer that if I wanted to sleep on a chip bag, I would. I'm not the biggest fan of the Thermarest. I've used them before, and it's just, even as a half-deaf person, they are too loud. I do not like them. I don't like them at all, and Nemo is better. So I will be using that Nemo insulated. All right, I am down to the last thing in my bag, and that is my Quilt, my big, giant, warm Outdoor Vitals 0 degree quilt. This is overkill. I am very aware of this fact, but I sleep very cold, and I'm starting in February. So I guess they do say you pack your fears, and I suppose my fear is being cold at night. So I went with a few extra ounces and extra bulk. It's pretty much the extra bulk. It's not that many extra ounces, but this thing is huge, and stuffing it in the bottom of my bag, I just feel like it should compact more, but it doesn't, because it is a 0 degree quilt. That's okay, though. I love this thing very, very much. Like I said, it's from Outdoor Vitals. It is the 0 degree top quilt. And I say once again, I will be going over all my big 3 items more in depth soon. So away with that. So that's everything in my bag. One last thing that I will be taking with me are my clothes. So I have on just a t-shirt, a Smart Wool base layer. It is a black t-shirt. This will probably be coming every step of the way with me. After that, I have on my town shirt, sun hoodie. I adore this shirt. I think the pattern is so cute, and it protects you from the sun. Part of the proceeds goes to wildlife conservation on the PCT. It's a cottage company that all of the designs are inspired by somewhere on a scenic trail. They're coming out with new designs all the time, and I just think they're adorable. So if I'm going to be wearing this every single day for 6 months, I want it to be cute. Next, I have my mid layer. It is essentially a Melanzana dupe, because who can get to Colorado and get an appointment to buy a hoodie or spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars buying it off of a reselling site? So this is a pretty good dupe in my opinion. I've already forgotten the company name. I'll pop that up on the screen, but I found them. It was decently priced. It was men's, but who cares? It comes in lots of different colors. It has that like waffly texture, and it keeps you very, very warm. I will say, I did get too close to a fire, and I don't know if you can see it. I had to mend it, so this does have a hole in it, so we'll see how long it lasts me, but I love it very, very much, so it's going to come with me just as far as it can possibly get. It also has a hood, so I now I've got 2 hoods on and pockets and whatnot. And in here, I do have, I will probably be hiking with this every day, is my Carhartt beanie. Just a normal Carhartt beanie for when it is cold. All right, well, underneath that, what I just covered up is a buff. And I assume you know what a buff is. They're very useful. I wear one almost every day in real life. They can be used to get your hair out of your face, wipe sweat, a pillow cover. It's you can pull it down, keep your neck warm, all that stuff, but that is something that I will definitely have with me. All right, on the bottom here, I have on a pair of Old Navy, believe it or not, shorts. These are shorts that they came out with this past summer. They've got gigantic pockets, a little key ring, they're adjustable at the waist, and I like wearing shorts on top of my leggings just so I don't tear any holes, and I'm not worried if I'm sitting on rough rocks or dirt or whatever about getting holes in my leggings. So I will be wearing these shorts, and I might be ditching the leggings at some point once it gets warm in the summer, but for now I've got on my black leggings. They are smart wool, the 250 base layer ones. They are extremely durable and extremely warm. I love them very much. And then on my feet as I walk, I'm going to be wearing Darn Tough socks. So I'm going to be wearing Darn Tough socks on the outside. I will be wearing the Injinji toe liners. I don't have them on currently, but I do love the Injinji toe liners. I'll be wearing those, as well as my Hoka Speed Goats on my feet. I have done the Ultras before, but my feet really don't like zero drop, I have found. The last thing I'm going to be wearing is a winter buff. By winter buff, I just mean a fleece buff, and I'm going to mostly be using this around my neck to cover my face when I am hiking, when it is extremely cold, and to wear at night. So that'll be the last thing I'll be wearing as I go. Technically, I'm not wearing it, but I will be carrying them. I am going to be using my black diamond trekking poles. They're ones with the little curved edge at the top. Previously, I've just used a know-nothing pair of trekking poles, and I figured if I'm going to be doing such a long trail, I needed an upgrade. So I've got the good stuff. I've got that black diamond. I really liked the color. I really liked the straps and the handles. They're extraordinarily comfortable with that cork handle, and I hope they do great. So it is time for the final weigh-in. I'm going to start with my fanny pack. So let's see how much it weighs. Here we go. So it looks like 3 pounds, 1 ounce. 3 pounds, 1 ounce for my fanny pack. So now the big kahuna. All right, so I've got my pack all loaded up. Let's zero it out and see how much it weighs. All right, so we've got 16 pounds and 13 ounces. Respectable. Now that is a base weight. I don't have any food or water or fuel in here, so it will be more when I start, but just about 17 pounds, I'm happy with that. So that is everything I'm going to be bringing with me on my Appalachian Trail thru hike, starting very, very soon in February of 2023. If you're interested in following along on my journey, hit subscribe here on Bad Bat Hikes on YouTube, and you can follow along with me on Instagram, same handle, at Bad Bat Hikes. Thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon. Happy trails!